We're always in our clubhouse getting high. Super fuckers! Everybody wishes we would die. Super fuckers! Here we come like a bomb. Everybody fucking run and hide.
Hey, it's the RebelTaxi Pizza Party podcast. After so long, we are back finally for a traditional podcast. It's us here again.
Could you sound any more like Tony the Tiger? Because that was
Great.
We had quite the couple of ventures. We went to the Appalachian Mountains. We went to travel to Cartoon Network and pitch a show, and it didn't work out. So we're back doing podcasts again. That's why it took us so long. That's the joke. That's the lore for everybody writing.
Yeah, we didn't actually go to Cartoon Network. I mean, I could if I wanted to, but I don't.
Yeah, but not after the.
Well, to visit, not to actually do anything there.
But not after the Terrastron incident.
They're not going to let me touch anything at Cartoon Network, so
or anyone.
Oh, I wouldn't talk to Tara Strong. I heard she got someone to kill herself. So.
Oh.
What?
That doesn't make any sense.
Too soon.
Sorry. What?
What?
Are you referring to that guy with the ghost?
No, the
thing?
Butch Hartman thing. That's
Jim. We were doing a bit and you ruined it. So it
sorry.
The ghost kid.
First, you don't know what flames means, and now you ruin our bid. Maybe we should reconsider having you on the show.
My podcast appearance is in flames.
Oh.
There's that guy who shot up a supermarket all for some character from Danny Phantom, and which I find impossible because Butch Hartman himself has stated that the Lord and Jesus is flowing inside his shows, and he would never create something that would cause someone to do that. So
So that's specifically why Randy Stair shot up a supermarket.
No, Butch Hartman's show.
It's because
he's got the Jesus in there.
Butch Hartman's Christian juices are all flowing through his shows. I want Butch Hartman to slather me with his Christian juices.
Every single time you make a fart joke, Cosmo says something funny on Fairly Odd Parents, I can just feel the Christ. There's all that Christian imagery. I can see a cross on the TV if you really squint.
When Cosmo gets pregnant with his child, I feel the Lord of Christ looking at me and saying, I believe in you and I love you.
That's like a physical manifestation of Christ inside your stomach.
The Transformers will return after these messages.
But first, this podcast is supported by Alfredo, our Patreon donator of $100. They want to show off their webcomic, Bongo and Luna, links below. It's a slice-of-life comic of a clown ghost girl and a regular ghost girl living in a graveyard full of other monsters, especially monster girls who get into lewd sexual situations. Give Bongo and Luna a try, it's really cute. It has monster girls, please read it. Monster girls, links below.
We now return to the Transformers.
Hey, we have a guest.
We have multiple guests, and before we introduce the guests, I'm just going to say I have two stragglers in the room because I'm in Texas right now. It's my good friend Robo Buddies and her good friend Matt, who's also my friend.
We can barely hear Robo Buddies.
Yeah, it's fine. They're stragglers. They're trying to steal my thunder, but they can't because I usurped the microphone. So she's doing that. And we have two guests. Let's start with the one who went on the last podcast and cursed it. Who are you?
Hey, it's me. I'm Nick. You might know me as NICKTendo, and I make cartoon reviews and top 10s on YouTube.
Wow. Original.
Yeah, it's very original.
Yeah.
First person to do that.
For someone who hasn't seen one of your videos, which video would you recommend them watching?
I'm going to recommend the video I recommended last time I was here, because I was on the last episode of the podcast that you probably didn't hear because it was cursed.
It's floating somewhere. King Ramses has it, but Nick, go on. What do you want to recommend?
Anyway, I did a video back in April called The History and Legacy of Johnny Test. I did a half-hour review of Johnny Test where I watched more than one episode, which is something pretty much everyone else who's reviewed the show hasn't really done. I put too much effort into it. And I'm really proud of it. It turned out very good. It was supposed to be an April Fool's video, but I went overboard. And yeah, that's that.
Good job, Nick.
So you watched every single episode of Johnny Test?
Not for that video, but I think I have in my lifetime.
That's
really
sad.
Yep.
And for our next guest, this is a good buddy of mine. Who are you, sir?
Oh, it's me. I'm Matt from TacoBus Art.
Nick, shut the fuck up.
I'm Matt. I'm TacoBus Art on Twitter and Tumblr and everything, and I do a stupid webcomic called Bummer Corp. That's funny gags about depression and anxiety.
Yeah.
Bummer, man.
He does really good comics, so please follow him. Pan will put his info in the description and then copy paste all my Ron dead links.
Yeah.
Or I suppose.
All right.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, Matt, I apologize because I didn't actually see you in the podcast. Oh, you just showed up in the podcast streaming, so I didn't see you.
yeah. Way to
Okay.
go, Nick. Nate, you're a jerk. You're a bad person.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
If you
Same
were
to
in
you,
Grand
Nolan.
if you were in Grand Theft Auto, you would have like a sweaty, disgusting, stained like wife beater jersey and like stained jeans, because that's what every character in Grand Theft Auto looks like.
Wow. Looks like they did a lot of work on the programming for the character models.
Yeah, Grand Theft Auto
Yes.
5 isn't so great.
Dude, Grand Theft Auto 5 is on fleek. Oh, sorry, Jim. It's really radically extreme.
Here's the craziest thing I have to say about Grand Theft Auto 5. It's that there's too much driving.
Oh, wow. That means a lot coming from you.
You got a big ass open world, and you got to choose between 3 friggin' missions, and it's like just drive all the way across the map.
Okay, there's quick travel, and 2, you would fucking hate Metal Gear Solid 5.
Pan, your username is RebelTaxi, so I think you would be used to driving.
That's my reality. It's like I don't want to relive my reality in a virtual space, you know?
I understand. I get that.
That reminds me of that arcade game on The Simpsons that was like having a really nice dinner at a French restaurant. That's what I think of when Pan said that.
You gotta like go to a mission, and then they tell you to drive all the way over there to do this one specific mission in this linear fashion. Like, you know, I was thinking about like Mario Odyssey. It's like more people need to just follow Mario Odyssey. Just give me all the missions all at once. Fuck the
But
story.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is kind of like that though. Like they have the main missions, but also like the open world is really dense with shit to do. You can do a ton of other stuff than the main missions, like go like help a cult or find Bigfoot.
Yeah, but those are side quests, and I don't feel like I'm accomplishing life with a side quest, you know?
Yeah, definitely don't play Metal Gear Solid 5 because most of it is just going through an empty space doing nothing. Riding Diamond Horse is the fucking worst. If I could, I would have shot Diamond Horse, but I couldn't. Put him down and make glue.
Yeah, so that's my review of Grand Theft Auto. Too much driving, only 3 missions. Only 3 story missions to do.
My review of Metal Gear Solid 5 is it's pretty okay. Don't use Diamond Horse ever unless you absolutely have to.
Yeah.
So, this is an animation podcast, right?
I thought this was Screw Attack.
Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Stuttering Craig.
And I'm Nervous Nick. Oh, wait.
He's gone.
Well,
Can I be
Southern
8-bit
Craig
Mickey?
left.
Huh?
I want to be 8-bit Mickey.
I'm 8-Bit Mickey.
It's the only
I want to
name
be
know.
Jose El Mexicano.
Hey, 8-Bit Mickey, how was it working on the Channel Awesome movies? Got him!
No.
But yeah, since we talked about The Simpsons earlier, let's transition on into the news.
Did we talk about The Simpsons on the actual podcast proper?
Or just pre-stream.
I made a joke reference, you know, like if you were paying attention, you would know that.
That is the
No.
only positive context The Simpsons appears in now.
Yeah, the rest of this conversation is going to be misery. So let's hit it up.
Simpsons Hit and Run is superior to Grand Theft Auto 5, you know?
Yeah, I haven't played Grand Theft
That's
Auto,
fair.
but that's a fact.
Yeah, I'd agree
Yeah,
with that
okay,
too.
that's arguably like, yeah, you're right.
Grand Theft Auto 5 is like excessive and gigantic, and Simpsons Hit and Run, it's just like bite size. It knows what it is. It's comfortable sized, you know?
You can drive on the Matlock Expressway in Simpsons Hit and Run, and you can't do that in Grand Theft Auto, so therefore it's better.
Also, isn't Simpsons Hit and Run got like 4 or 5 main like playable characters?
Yeah, you can play as
Yeah, you got-
Abu, the racial stereotype
Yeah.
people don't like anymore.
Nah, this is representation, like the biggest Indian character in video games next to Aladdin on
Ouch.
Genesis.
I actually, I'm in Robo's place right now, and she has Aladdin on the SNES.
Ew, get the Genesis one, loser.
Is the Super Nintendo version or the Genesis version better?
Genesis.
Super Nintendo,
After-
easily.
got a sword.
Genesis does what Nintendo don't.
Grandpa Jim, did you get that reference?
I got, son, I got that reference before you was born.
Grandpa Jim, did you take your meds today?
Wait, are we talking about The Simpsons? What's going on?
Okay. You sound like you have dementia. Okay, but so the Simpsons Bongo, was it Bongo Bogo?
Bongo Comics Group, yes.
Bongo Comics Group, which is the comics that have been making the Simpsons comics, are ending. It's going to be ending on issue 250, I think.
245. They didn't even
245,
get to
so
250.
They couldn't spring those last 5 issues that would have cost them 10 cents. Such a shame.
I mean, so this has been running since the 90s heyday till now.
Yeah,
Yes.
It was like 1992, 93.
Yeah. I mean, everybody remembers those comics. I didn't realize they were still going, to be honest, but
They used to be some of the only comics that weren't like Marvel or DC you could find in like bookstores. Like sometimes at Barnes & Noble they'd have them. That's how I was introduced, but I got most at comic shops.
yeah.
The only one I remember is the one where Homer is Pie Man, and it was like it's a little alternate universe where Homer kept being Pie Man, and it was like a thing, and I liked that because Pie Man is cute.
I mean, did they say why they were canceling it?
I don't think
Not
they
that
did.
I'm aware of, but
Is it Fox and Disney?
Yeah.
Not this soon. It wasn't. I feel like those were made just at the same time. And
They
also,
haven't-
I don't even think I'm not even sure how much involvement Fox has with the comics besides just licensing the characters. So
not only that, but also the comic industry has been dying multiple times for years, and each time it's close to the brink of destruction, it only gets closer each and every time.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm planning on maybe heading to NYCC to get a career in it. Yeah. Kill me. But
Sad.
so I'm assuming it's either because of Disney or it's because the comics aren't doing that well anymore and they're just like, yeah, fuck it.
I say the latter.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
I say it's the
Yeah.
latter.
Well, also The Simpsons, the show was at an all-time ratings low too, I think.
Well, in general, every single TV show is at an all-time ratings low.
Internet killed the TV star.
There's still TV's still around. It's just how we consume it is changing. That's really what the issue is. I think more people are watching TV. It's just they're not watching it like appointment TV. No one's like, oh man, it's Sunday at 8:00. Better watch The Simpsons. Like, I bet you its Hulu numbers are probably better, or it's FXX streaming app or whatever the fuck it's on are probably
It's on
better.
that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like, well, I guess it won't be for long now because I bet they're probably going to stop doing that and just put it on the Disney streaming service, whatever that's going to be called. But I mean, I don't know. I think, well, what I was alluding to earlier in the pre-stream is that so there's this theory that Simpsons and Family Guy will be canceled with this Disney Fox deal because part of the deal is Disney doesn't own those Fox stations because that would be considered a monopoly. And what they have now, I guess, isn't somehow. But because before the Fox stations were part of Fox, 20th Century Fox, and they would make money off of the syndication. But if they're not the ones who own The Simpsons anymore, since that went to Disney, they have no reason to keep that show and Family Guy on if the ratings are crap. Like, they'll just cancel it. So, which is probably what's going to happen in the next year or two.
Well, I mean, The Simpsons is about to go on to season 30, so if there's any good stopping point, I mean, that's pretty decent.
All the voice actors sound like they're dying.
They're gonna like drop like flies if the show keeps going.
Yeah.
Like, I had this idea, like, eventually, like, each of the Simpsons were to die. Like, let's say Homer's voice actor who voices a bunch of other characters, like, they kill off Homer and they kill off all his characters, and they just say that the Simpsons now takes place in a post-apocalyptic Earth where all those characters conveniently died, you know? I think that could work.
The question is, if The Simpsons does end, how long do you think it's going to take them to reboot it in CalArts style?
Oh, God.
I remember we had, like, Spencer Rothbell of Clarence on here, and he said that the CalArts style derived from The Simpsons.
I mean, it kind
No
of
one
did.
really knows where it comes from.
Well, the CalArts style doesn't exist. It's just whatever phrase people are angry about, whatever the current trend is.
Yeah, there's no real. If there was a CalArts style, it would be Disney. Because Disney Farm School is CalArts. I mean, it's just like people just pick and choose what CalArts style is.
And to be fair, Disney does have a very distinct look. So if anything, all the mainstream animated Disney movies are CalArts style.
Yeah.
I mean, like all the Cartoon Network shows that we love, like Powerpuff Girls and Dexter's Lab, that was considered CalArts style because they're all flat and thick outlined.
Yeah.
And then it's just whatever popular flavor of whatever people like and other people counterculture don't.
I think it's also that like they also didn't look like they were animated on a budget of $2. But that's just me.
I don't know. I feel like my favorite era and my least favorite era at the same time is the 2000s, where everything was what I consider the CalArts era, because everyone who did Dexter, Powerpuff, XJ9 were all from CalArts. And there were like a lot of imitators doing that flat style, and some of the imitators just look atrocious.
That was also the Flash came in this style. That became really popular.
Flash was like into late 2000s, but
yeah,
I think early 2000s is when creators were like, okay, we have a show under our belt. We can do something better and more experimental. And then it's like Samurai Jack is there, and then Foster's looks really nice in spite of the show being crap.
Oh, come on. It's not that bad.
It is. Don't at me. I already fought with Craig.
Foster's looks better at standing still.
You know me. I'm a cynical bully asshole.
Yeah, I didn't even know that, but it makes total sense.
But yeah, I feel like maybe we'll get the same kind of resurgence later for this generation. Like once everybody, Pendleton Ward probably won't make a show ever again, but
he kind of like stepped down from Adventure Time halfway through. He's probably not going to go through this again.
He wasn't even at the Adventure Time panel. The final Adventure Time panel.
I mean, he still did do Bravest Warriors. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if he.
I don't think he was like involved.
No,
with
he's
it.
not.
Oh no.
Yeah, no, they had a completely different showrunner and everything.
He thought of the concept. That was a pilot for Oh Yeah Cartoons, and then when Adventure Time got popular, Frederator took it and they turned it into the Cartoon Hangover show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think Pendleton Ward got really burned out. Not that I blame him or anything. But
yeah,
it seems like he just got really burned out from Adventure Time and how popular it got, and then he just kind of stepped back, and now he's vanished, like the Avatar.
Yeah, his Twitter doesn't even mention that he created Adventure Time.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's got to feel kind of shitty. Poor guy. Penn, if you're out there somewhere, I think you're cool. You know, I'd give you a smooch. You know,
you can talk about your feelings on the podcast if you
We
want.
tried to invite him on the podcast once, although he was just that was when he was burned out, so I don't think so.
You can talk about anything you want on the podcast, and then we'll exploit it for YouTube views.
Oh,
that's the way the machine works.
Rage Against.
So do we want to talk about actual cartoons? Because there's a bunch of new ones just got released or announced.
Wait, what? Cartoon? What?
Yeah.
Wait, is this a cartoon podcast?
Like Dragon
no,
Prince?
it's Screw Attack. How many times do I have to tell you guys?
I'm Destin, and this is hard news.
And I'm surprised you haven't used that more often, Pan. Time to look at my hard news.
Yeah.
That sounds like something you'd say, but let's see what the other things.
In a city where chaos rules, only one man can save humanity from total destruction. Woohoo! It's up to Homer Simpson and family to save the world from a diabolical plot as they run and drive to unravel the conspiracy.
Blackfinch!
Critics call it the best Simpsons game ever.
Get the lot, dude.
The Simpsons Hit and Run, rated T for Teen.
I am evil Homer.
Oh well, I saw Dragon Prince, the new series by the creators of Avatar and the director of the Uncharted games.
Yeah, it looks good except for the animation.
Yeah, the animation is this CG anime style with choppy frame rates.
Yeah, I can we stop like doing like the chopped like limited frame rate please in 3D, because it looks like garbage, and the only people who've done it right so far, ironically, are the Into the Spider-Verse people.
Like I think the Spider-Verse looks amazing, don't get me wrong, but some of the choppiness still throws me out.
Yeah, when I first saw that teaser trailer, and you have the part where Miles jumps, and he's kind of there's some choppiness as he's coming down. It looked a little wrong when I first saw it, but I feel like generally that does it the best. But I would say it's probably not the best idea.
Generally, you guys would agree though that Spider-Verse does look the best.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I think it's because like it's like the same thing. It's the same principle of timing and spacing, but it's with your dropped frames. Like everybody who does it tries to replicate like 2D, 24 frames per second with 3D, and it looks like shit. And the reason why it doesn't look as bad in Into the Spider-Verse is because they do it very deliberately and at very like certain like motions. Like when Miles was walking up to Purr's grave, like it was blacked out, so I don't know who it was. I don't know who was on that gravestone, but it started with 2 P's. But anyway, you can see like where they drop the frames, and it still looks good in motion. It doesn't look like you're missing frames. It just looks like they're spacing and timing it out differently.
But the actual show for Dragon Prince. Oh, who the fuck is calling me? Oh, never mind.
You know, I just learned on Twitter this is the next year's the last BronyCon.
Oh no!
Really?
Because the show's
The
ending.
2010s are
I
dead.
I was a little surprised to see their official Twitter just tweeted next year's the last one. So
has it been going for like 10 years almost?
Sorry.
Probably probably like 7
It
or 8.
says for 7 amazing years. So
I guess the turnout this year was shit.
I don't know. I feel like it should just be an animation convention. Like if there was an animation convention, there really isn't one.
Yeah.
I don't think.
I mean, Momocon's anime, so
Yeah, not. There's a lot of anime conventions.
Yeah,
but
there
I mean,
are.
like just animation conventions.
Funny you
that's
mentioned Momocon. It would be cool if we could go back there someday, but we'll maybe find out at a later date.
But yeah, like the 2010s are over. Adventure Time's done. My Little Pony's done.
I want to jump back to the convention talk real quick because, like, there used to be a Transformers convention, BotCon.
Yeah, there
but
did.
Then, like, Hasbro bought it and made it HasCon or something. It was some terrible name. I don't remember. But, like...
More like Has Been.
But they try to, like, combine it with Transformers, My Little Pony, and G.I. Joe as, like, a 3-way convention. Yeah. And I lost interest in it. I heard it sucked.
No one cares about G.I. Joe.
It really went down after that because you can't really just like sometimes you can throw 4 things on at a convention or an event and you'll get all the fandoms, but other times it's just like you'll mess up what you're going for.
Yeah.
Well, those 3 fandoms just don't connect.
But also like stuff like anime or cartoons or video games are so general because then it's like, oh, we love one certain thing, and then there's subsections of that all. But then with like Hasbro, it's like they're a toy company and they very specifically made toys that were catering to specific niches. So it's like
and specific niches for children.
I think they did
They didn't combine the toys. There's no My Little Pony Transformers. That would have been cool.
Like toy exclusives for the convention.
Weren't they gonna do a cinematic universe with G.I. Joe and Transformers? But I don't know if that's still happening.
Oh, don't forget Battleship or whatever.
Oh god.
Oh my god.
Yes.
There was a Battleship movie.
Wait, would Gem be at the Hasbro Con? I wonder.
I think I would hope so.
Oh, I've actually seen on like a lot of people have been starting to defend the Gem and the Holograms movie. Notice that's been happening.
Really?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah,
Really?
I was like, guys, I don't know what movie you saw, but like I have seen some like defenders on Twitter, people going like, I finally saw it. It wasn't that bad, and I'm like, no.
And devil's advocate fairness to them, when somebody overhypes how bad a movie is, sometimes you watch and you go, I've seen worse.
I mean, I think because it got pulled from theaters made it notorious. If it hadn't, because that made it like, what gets pulled from theaters? Like nothing. Like I think when that happened, it like gave it a reputation.
Not only that, but it was $5 million to make. And
like it wasn't a huge bomb. It wasn't like, I mean, there's probably movies that came out this summer or like Solo or Justice League. Like those were bigger bombs than Gem. Like I'm sure they made their money back. It just wasn't.
No, they didn't.
It was sort of a disaster. Well, through
DVDs
maybe
maybe
on demand and streaming rights, like that's an easier one to make back.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, I was gonna say that Gem and the Holograms, if they rebooted it as a cartoon, I think that would be really cool. Because that seems like something that would be a great.
Well, the comics are doing really well.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I mean, they did with the I think with the She-Ra, if that goes well, I could see them doing a Gem thing, and Gem would work because there's already so many like kid shows with songs in it. I feel like it just like the audience is there, so they they should be doing that right.
And people who collect toys like Izzy and Matt need more plastic to fill up their house.
Yeah.
Hey, I like my dust collectors. Thank you.
I mean, I'm not one to throw stones in glass houses. Who am I kidding? I am exactly that type of person. But yeah, I've collected figures and books here and there, but On the subject of Gem and Hasbro and stuff, Robo showed me the first couple episodes of Gem, and I had no fucking idea this show was insane.
Oh,
That's amazing.
you should.
It's truly outrageous.
Were you watching it on DVD?
Yeah, we were watching it on the Shout Factory DVDs.
Oh, I did that at a party, and we just like hit play all, and it's like crazy the amount of stuff that happens in one episode because you're just like I'm exhausted after episode 1. And you're like, wait, there's another one? Like, how did it cover so much ground?
Like the previously on Gem goes on for like 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, no, it goes on because there's so much continuity, and like I don't know, I never got like. If I was going to make a movie of Gem, I would just do the first kind of 10 episodes because that's like almost a movie in itself. Like,
yeah, people who like think like anime is really deep and complex haven't seen Gem and the Holograms.
It's
Gem
truly
is
outrageous.
Yeah, Gem is a truly outrageous anime.
like that episode's where she cured cancer and then she wrote an amazing song and then she saved an orphan from a burning building, and that's episode 2.
You joke, but that sounds like something that could happen in the show because
No, I know.
Did
it? It's like crazy. She's like, I think we found a solution to homelessness in America, but we also have to beat the misfits in this battle of band competition, and we also have to find a way to make lunch for the orphans that live at our house.
It's like the episode starts and she comes out with this giant list written on like a giant roll of toilet paper that just goes down to her legs. All right, guys. We got 22 minutes. Let's get going.
In the first episode alone, I'm certain there are like 5 plot lines going on at one time.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not even hyperbole, but no. The one thing I want to discuss about Gem is how they exposit the backstory. So it's like it's I think if I remember correctly, it's somebody going, "Hey, fucking Gem's alter ego, secret identity,
Jenna?
Jerica, thank you guys, Jerica." They're like, "Hey, Jerica, you're doing great. Yeah, but my dad's dead." That's how you find out her dad is dead. It transitions into a funeral. Like in the first minute of the show, it's like cheery and peppy. Everybody's wearing 80s outfits, and then it's like, "But my dad is dead."
I mean, I think they often would. It feels like a show that had like, we'll spend 6 episodes on this plot line, and the executive was like, "No, you'll spend an episode on it. Get on the shit now."
We need to fit at least 7 songs into each episode.
Oh yeah, and they're good songs. I like the 80s songs.
They're not bad. They're not like Sonic Underground or Donkey Kong Country where they sound like ear gratingly bad.
I was listening it to the other day, and Donkey Kong Country has some like real headbangers. If you get that one, Jim.
No,
I'm gonna headbang you and shove you out a
First
window.
off, I actually remember when Donkey Kong Country came out, and the soundtrack was like, I think you could get it from a cereal box or something. And I remember that was like a big album. Like every kid
break the charts.
Like I don't think I just remember every kid in my elementary school was like hanging out listening to Donkey Kong Country or Green Day. It was like a
The
competition.
game or the soundtrack?
The soundtrack to the video game was like a huge album. Like I was always surprised to find out it wasn't. I don't think it was commercially released. I think it was like you get it with Cinnamon Toast Crunch.
Yeah, there was DK Jams, is what they called it.
Did you guys remember that CD that they released of the Donkey Kong music where it was the shape of Diddy's face?
Yeah,
so
the
it was
Diddy
like
Kong
incredible.
Country, Diddy Kong Racing soundtrack. I was gonna say something about that.
I had the Yoshi one too, the Yoshi bass one.
Yoshi's lumpy ass head, and it's just like looks awful, and then it destroys your CD player.
Yeah, I think there's only a special type of CD player that you could fit those in. I actually haven't seen any. But
Where
it's
where the
hilarious.
laser spins itself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I made that up. That was a joke, but I would believe it.
I don't know what I haven't looked into it. I kind of want to find the fabled CD player that can play my Diddy Kong Racing CD.
Well, this reminds me, like, in OKKO, they got the singer from the Donkey Kong Country cartoon to do a musical number
yes.
for OKKO.
Yeah, I love that episode so much. He's actually, well, he played Rad's singing voice, and Rad is the character voiced by Ian Jones Courtley.
Yeah.
So I guess he just didn't want to sing, but they turned it into a funny joke. So
I'm glad they did.
Ouch.
Are you still fighting?
What? No.
What?
I said I'm glad they did. What are you talking about? I didn't know what to say, so I just said the first thing that came out of my mouth.
There's like beef or something.
I don't think before I speak. Please don't bully me.
Yeah.
Please don't bully me.
Should we talk about other news things or?
Oaxis?
We can talk about Oaxis.
Oh boy.
Because like I followed this a little bit, but did they like no one know it was a Christian thing, and then suddenly like right when it got approved on the live stream, Creed started playing or something? Like,
might as well.
Explain to me this whole thing. And for anyone that's listening, you know.
Basically, Butch Hartman went on Kickstarter saying, "Hey, are you a family? And as a family tired of like violence on TV, will watch Oaxis, my streaming service. Give me money."
Actually, I'm pretty sure he quoted the exact opening line to Family Guy's theme song.
Hey, Heart fans! It seems today that all you see is violence in movies and sex on TV.
I mean that's from the All in the Family actually. So it's
See, that would have been actually legitimately clever and fun and quirky and like have personality. Besides that god awful like weird. Overreacting family.
Oh yeah, where Butch just like walks.
Timing.
Butch literally just walks into this family trying to watch a movie. I'm like, Butch, leave these fine people alone.
They're like, how did you get into my house?
To be fair, the doggy door bit is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah, there's a joke about that. He's like, oh yeah, I came in through the doggy door. So Butch Hartman got on all fours to break into this fine family's home.
Well, how much is Oaxis going to cost, and what's going to be on it? That's the real
No one knows. That's the whole thing about it. He gave no details about who's involved besides himself or what's going to be on it.
Well, there's a video from his podcast, The Speech Bubble, where he's talking about like, yeah, we're going to have great movies. We're going to have Nacho Libre and Napoleon Dynamite on there, and I'm going to be the Walt Disney of Oaxis. Like he said, he's going to be the Walt Disney of Oaxis.
Oh, because those guys, that director's like a big Christian person or something, right?
I mean, I know this is a very lofty thing to say, and I don't mean that I'm ever going to equal this guy, but I'm kind of like looking at myself as the Walt Disney of Oaxis, because I'm going to be the one in charge of all the creative, all the decision making as far as...
You even tweeted the other day, like, why isn't a cartoon creator the head of a studio?
He's a Mormon, it sounds like. He's a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints, so...
More men, more problems, honk honk.
But yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, I could honestly see those guys letting Butch Hartman do that for his Christian movie thing.
Pray the Gay Away service, yeah.
I mean, are they gonna have like Secret Life of an American Teenager on it too, or something?
We'll probably have like God's Not Dead the series.
God's Not Dead the animated series, and it's gonna be in Butch's like lame style.
I really don't. I've never seen a God's Not Dead, watched the trailer, or read anything about it. But is it just like someone going like, so you know, God's not dead, and they're like, yep. And then they just sit around and eat fried chicken for 2 hours. Like I don't really.
So much more, Jim. So much more.
What do they have? Tater tots too? I don't.
Oh, Jim, you're so funny.
I just imagine it's them eating and be like, so you know, God's not dead, and they're like, yeah, you know, obviously because we're Christians and stuff. And they're like, and then they go, how could a being that's like an abstract thing be dead? That doesn't even make sense anyway. You know,
Jim, you forgot the most important part of the movies. Before they eat, they pray.
Oh, thank you. See, I haven't seen them, so I don't know. You've seen them.
No, it's a very important plot point.
Oh, okay. They're like, let's pray. Thanks God for like not being dead and stuff. Now we're gonna eat chicken, and I think
they should have called it God's Not Dead Resurrection.
Who's even in them? I don't even know. Are people in them? I assume
the
someone
guy from Hercules.
God.
Sabrina the Teenage Witch was in the second one.
What?
Wait, really? Like as Sabrina, or like?
Was she a witch and was she burned at the stake?
You're ripping witchcraft into this?
Wait, did she sit there and be like, look, I'm gonna stand here and I'm gonna explain it all. What? Sorry.
Oh yeah.
You're stealing my Melissa Joan Hart over here.
I forgot she was Clarissa Explains It All.
I'll never forget.
That was a weird show because like she would just have like a friend that would break into her own room on the second floor and he would bring his own ladder.
Yeah. But then I also like she would make video games on her computer like easily. Like it was like Newgrounds in the late 90s or something. And like Like that part I always found the most unbelievable. Like how is she able to do this so quickly?
Yeah, she was like a fucking master programmer, like before people even knew how to program video games.
Why can't they remake? They should reboot that. Like do that with a kid, and she could be the mom. You know, kids can still explain it all.
I think that might be in the works.
Like Raven's Home.
There was a failed pilot for a Clarissa kind of like a spin-off show where she was an office worker or something, and that flopped.
No, they made it for, I think it was for like CBS. It wasn't going to be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, some other Viacom network.
Yeah, and it like didn't transition over, and then she went and did Sabrina. But you know what I don't get about her career is because I saw Can't Hardly Wait on TV, and she's like a minor supporting character. And I was thinking about it, I was like, she was actually probably the biggest star in this movie, but no one really took her seriously at the time, even though she had a huge show and like everyone knew who she was. I don't think clearly there's some reason like they don't respect her enough, but I feel like they should have maybe given her better.
Okay, so according to TV Line, as of March 2018, there is a Carissa Explains It All revival in development at Nickelodeon, according to this.
I mean, that's an easy reboot. Is just her as the mom, and the kid with the ladder is her husband, and Ferguson shows up occasionally. I wrote half the thing. There you go.
Yeah, Nickelodeon show I really want to see get rebooted, but it probably won't because Nickelodeon doesn't care about it.
Oh, what?
Ned's Declassified School Survival Guide.
They tried.
They did try.
I know they tried to do a spin-off series with them in high school, but there's such like an easy idea for a reboot. You just get the kid who played Ned. He's the principal of the school, and the janitor is still there. And there's like a new set of new kids, and they find the book, and they go through like different experiences, and that's it. That's all they do.
That's not bad. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
That or he becomes an asshole principal and becomes the thing he hated as a kid.
Yeah. I mean, that sounds like a really stupid, dark reboot, but you could like work around it a little bit.
Is Ned even old enough to be a principal?
I don't know.
Maybe a teacher.
I mean, the kid was like 17 10 years ago. He's almost in his 30s.
He's not. You can't be a principal. You got to be older for that.
He could be a teacher.
All right. We'll wait 5 years until people start getting nostalgic for mid 2000s TV shows.
I mean, when's there's a Salute Your Shorts and Budnick's the counselor, and then he's become what he hated all that time, and then it's more from his perspective, walking around the camp at night, thinking about his regrets and his life choices that led him to become everything
Is this
that
Cobra
he
Kai?
hated. And then he's just sitting there thinking like, look, there's just a cycle of kids that will salute their shorts, and there's nothing I can do to stop it. And that's my pitch. I think it'll be great.
They reboot The Adventures of Pete and Pete, but it's The Adventures of Pete and Pete and Pete, because Pete has a son. His name is also Pete.
Oh, no, fuck that. No.
It just never ends.
Oh, should we talk about Dan Harmon or something?
That's a no.
Yeah, that's fine. I keep seeing it come up in the chat, so I was like, I said it. There we go.
I've actually been watching it for the first time, and it's like really intelligent for a kid's show in some ways. Like it's really off the wall, and I think it's part of me feels like, yeah, this is some good stoner TV.
Yeah.
In some ways, but it totally doesn't talk down to its viewers. It's pretty well written.
Yeah, it's a really strange show to describe.
Oh yeah, no, I've been trying to think of if I was gonna do something about it, but I don't know how to describe it. It's just really good. They haven't even put all of it like legally on DVD. The third season isn't out, and I want it to be out.
I think it's on iTunes
It's
at least.
not. I checked. Only like season 1 is on Amazon. So the only way I'm watching it is because I got DVDs out of the library. So yeah.
Oh.
No one. This is like the first time I've used my public library in years.
Does anyone remember Cousin Skeeter?
Ooh,
Yeah.
We all
I
did.
think Cousin Skeeter might all be on DVD, or maybe I'm thinking of something else.
I mean, I used to think, like, what does this have to do with Doug? Because he had a friend called Skeeter, and it's like, what's with these two characters on Nickelodeon called Skeeter?
Really? Like,
I was just
two
like-
characters can't be named similar names.
That's like such a specific name. Like, how many people do you know are named Skeeter?
There's literally a show that was called Pete
They
and
never
Pete.
explain.
Pete's an average
They were
name.
brothers.
How badly did Ed and Nettie fuck you up?
Have you ever met a person named Skeeter?
No.
I have. I don't like to talk about him.
Really?
There's a Skeeter and Muppet Babies as well.
I feel like I
Oh,
need
true.
a Skeeter cinematic universe.
No, I want more of this cinematic universe for Skeeter.
All the Skeeters from all the media just combined. They do a Voltron into one big Skeeter.
And it's like a hideous, like the Thing level disaster.
Yes.
Let me explain to you the frickin' Cousin Skeeter movie. Like, the whole show was just a basic sitcom of this puppet living with a family, and the movie is about them going into fucking space and having to fight clones of themselves on Mars, which has a secret alien society living underground.
All like sitcom properties had really weird out there movies, like the Proud Family
Proud
movie.
Family. Yeah.
Proud Family movie.
Yeah.
What else was there? Alf,
Kenan and
the
Kel
Alf
movie.
Recess.
I mean, the final episode of Family Matters is similar, where Urkel's in space with Carl.
What?
There was also the episode where the dummy comes to life and like is trying to kill the family, I think.
Yeah, that sounds like
It's still a special.
I mean, do you remember the Kenan and Kel movie?
Oh, here it goes. Everybody out there, go run and tell your homeboys and homegirls it's time for Kenan and Kel.
Was it the one that was like Halloweenish themed?
It was like they go to like some road trip and they end up in some castle, which they meet some people along the way, and those people die and get beheaded, and you just see their heads on a table, and Kenan and Kel basically had to run out of there and leave those people behind because they're dead.
Whoa! And they banned Crybaby Lane. Nickelodeon.
Wasn't there like a canceled sequel to Good Burger? I think there actually was.
I don't think we can talk about Kenan and Keller. Otherwise, Kenan Thompson's agent has a sniper train on all of us, ready to shoot at a moment's notice.
Yeah, but Kel's agent will give us $50 for bringing it up.
Oh,
well, that's a little generous. Like, I think Kel's agent only could afford like $24 at most.
What, for the Pizza Party podcast? It was $50.
No, like he literally doesn't have enough money to pay us all properly.
Oh,
No, he would give the podcast $50
Yeah, I think that would be
and we would all have
the
to
thing.
split it.
I actually, my brother met Kel at a bar. Kel does bar appearances and drank whatever the soda is that you drank. He drinks, what was it?
Orange soda.
Orange soda.
Yeah, he brought orange soda. And all that
Is
stuff.
it grape or orange?
That's like Drake Bell levels of desperate.
is he like a depressed drunk or
I
what?
love
Is
the fact that like we're talking about old like Teen Nick shows when there's like this whole slew of a bunch of San Diego Comic Con
what?
I don't
announcements.
care. I got to talk about Pete and Pete. It's a good show.
Who gives a shit? Nobody ever wants the news from us. Nobody's ever like,
Nickelodeon at Comic-Con, they're just like, hey guys, remember the 90s? And they got nothing else.
No, that was pretty much. I read about their panel. It was like, because they announced the Rugrats reboot too early, and then they're like, hey, there's other stuff like.
Oh yeah,
you know,
The Zim
it's
trailer.
gonna be a
Rocco show
live-action
might- that-
CGI hybrid movie.
No, that to me is a shitty idea because it's just like, why would you just not make a 2D one? You already have a franchise with the Rugrats, like a 2D
2D animation's dead.
Is the movie gonna be like realistic, just real life parents, but with CG babies?
Ugh.
No, maybe
Honestly,
everything's
probably
CG
do
but
like
the
a-
babies. That's what it's gonna be.
Oh
It's gonna
god.
be big genius
I like
days all
that.
over again.
I mean, to me that sounds like something an executive said, and they're like, "Sure, let's do it." And then when they like actually have to write it, they're like, "Ooh, let's not do this. Forget it." You know.
Honestly, for San Diego Comic Con, Nickelodeon was totally slayed, another vocab word for Jim, by Cartoon Network. Because all Nickelodeon had was they announced the Rugrats reboot, which no one wanted, and it's not going to be very good, probably. The Zim movie, which that looks good, But they
Yeah.
had nothing on the Rocco movie, and then Cartoon Network totally kicked their ass with all their announcements.
What were all the
What?
Infinity Train?
Cartoon Network 1E3.
Yeah, basically, like Rebecca Sugar did a final song for Adventure Time, and everybody
it's so
cried.
good. Yeah,
Yeah.
Jake's totally gonna die.
Yeah, fucking rest in peace, Jake.
Oh.
I mean, I can't wait for it to end, and then in 5 years later, we can all get mad about the reboot.
Yeah.
Totally.
I'm
Yeah, no, they
excited.
joked about that at the convention, talking about how like things never die. So yeah,
I mean,
it's
that's the
gonna
way
happen.
the media landscape is now.
It's sad because I've been rewatching Adventure Time, and actually some of the later episodes are really good. I talked about it with Nolan, but he's in denial. So
I mean, I've
I'm
heard
not,
it's gotten
I'm not in
better.
denial. I just have a better opinion than you.
see,
Clearly.
he's in denial.
Wow. I will. I'll watch all the. I'll watch your. Okay. Recommend me some episodes and I'll watch them. But I'm not gonna watch like 10 episodes unless I like the ones you handpick for me.
Okay, I have something on the occasion. I'll send you this because I made a list, like a catch-up list for the finale. I made it like a month ago. So I'll like handpick some of those, or just like good episode.
Throw it in the description. Throw everybody's GoFundMe in the description. Throw all the charities in the description. The Twitch in the description. The secret to the Declaration of Independence is in the description. Fuck it, man. Let's just jump into it. Fuck it. Put everything in.
It's a Philly Deep.
Wait,
Yeah.
what?
Jim. It's a YouTuber. You know what YouTube is, right?
No, I'm on YouTube. Okay, you guys are.
Jim, do you know what a TV is?
I used to. Well, is that thing that makes pictures? I hate that thing. That thing scares me. First off, how do I know it's not stealing my soul, Nolan? How do I know?
Did you see the train come at you? Like, did that scare you?
Oh, I hated that. I hate that show. Wait, and then the guy comes out with a gun and tries to shoot me, and everyone's like, "Ha ha, he's not going to shoot you." How do I know that? I don't trust it.
One time the TV talked to me and said I was never going to amount to anything and that I was just going to wind up in a dingy gas station bathroom under a noose.
Wait,
And I thought that was a little bit too far, but
Did I say on this podcast that that happened to me once with one of those commercials?
what?
That it was like 3 a.m. I was a little drunk. It was like I was in college, and suddenly like one of those commercials came on and he goes, "Look at you, drunk, 3 a.m. on a weekday, no job. What are you doing with your life?" And I was like, "Hey man, I'm just like in college, just at a long week." And it was really like I had heard about that happen, like those commercials and cartoons, but I was like, "Holy shit! Like this really happens in real life." It was like intense, man. So
I
be
love
careful.
those commercials. There's always
What?
that one guy who's like outside a hotel at night and he's saying, "Look at you! What are you doing? Wasting your life? Go to Kaplan College or something. Join us. Look at me. I got a
I
degree."
think it was just like
You still don't own a Sega CD?
What are you waiting for? Nintendo to make one?
Wrong answer, man.
Wow, it's like you get to play the games on a CD.
Love the commercials that are just like, fuck you to the audience. Like, they don't give a shit.
I love local commercials because those are always the weirdest.
They have no budget. The audio is garbage.
No budget. The audio is garbage. They don't know how to market to people, so they're just screaming at you.
Sometimes they're in like 4:3 because they just can't figure out how to put it in HD.
Yeah.
Whenever all of the pizza party people meet up again, we should like make our own commercial just for like anything, like pine cleaner or something.
I'm actually making a commercial this week, so.
Oh, okay. Well,
my favorite local commercial here is we had a Chinese restaurant. I guess their mascot is just the owner who's Asian, and he calls himself the Secret Asian Man, like Secret Agent Man.
Oh my god.
No.
I get it.
That song hasn't been relevant for like a decade.
It's still great.
That's like when Yon Yeah used to go join the nation and subscribe to Yon Yeah. And I know that's really obscure, but Yon Yeah is like a YouTube news guy who updates you on the gaming news and shit. His channel is pretty good. He got rid of that catchphrase though. I can't imagine why.
Where's the beef?
Have you seen that ad with the he's just the manager of this refrigerator warehouse, and he just walks alongside the refrigerators for a full 20 seconds and then mumbles, "I love refrigerators," and then it ends.
Is that a Rick and Morty sketch?
That sounds like something Adult Swim would air at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
Like from Wham City Comedy. I can't picture it without Alan Resnick now.
Remember those Super Bowl commercials where it was just some guy for 1 second saying, Bud Life, and that was it?
Oh, yeah. Was it? Did you ever hear about there was one Super Bowl, Will Ferrell did the ads for this local Milwaukee beer company, but they only aired in Milwaukee during the Super Bowl.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Is that lost media?
I think it's you can find it on YouTube. It's just it was just a weird thing Will Ferrell did one Super Bowl. Was if you were in Milwaukee watching the Super Bowl, you got Will Ferrell drinking beer.
Oh boy.
Thank you for sharing that information.
No problem. That's what I'm here for.
So that new Ninja Turtles cartoon was pretty good.
Yeah!
I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't either.
It looks fucking tits, bitch.
It looks really nice, but I like how some people online are playing devil's advocate this looks like garbage. They move
because they're stupid.
Is it the tits because it was animated by Tit Mouse? Or exactly.
that too, yes.
Having tits on everything lately. They have their tits all over. They just release their tits into the air and just
Yeah, they did that Captain Underpants show, and that looks pretty decent.
Yeah, they also worked on the Teen Titans Go movie, which we will discuss at a later time. But
oh yeah,
they're just all over the place now. They have their many fingers in many pies.
Yeah, because it felt like they haven't done anything in a while, and it's suddenly all this stuff came out.
They did Big Mouth too. Don't forget that.
Ew. No thanks.
I'd like to forget.
Quality show. I was at well, this is a great way to start a story. I was at Hot Topic the other night. I was waiting for Teen Titans Go to the movies. And yeah, I know I'm awful. I'm an awful person because I went to Hot Topic. But anyway,
so Nick was wearing his eyeliner and had his fingernails painted black, and he was waiting in the Hot Topic when suddenly.
Exactly. That's the segue I needed. Anyway, I look on the wall and I see this We Bear shirt, and it's just the characters in a white outline on a black background. I'm like, oh, that looks pretty neat. So I look over and they don't have it in my size, but I look underneath the shirt and there's a couple of Big Mouth t-shirts just hidden under there. No one wanted a Big Mouth t-shirt.
Not to the point where not even the staff knew to put it in clearance or something.
Yeah, it was just hidden under there.
It's like when somebody, it's like that Jimmy Neutron VHS in Kmart that was still at full price and it was there for a decade.
Oh, what's the oldest thing you found at a Kmart recently?
When somebody was clearing out at Toys R Us, they reached under a shelf and found fresh in the box Super Mario Kart 64.
I think someone else found.
Hey, I just had to double check here, but Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles isn't animated by Titmouse. It's animated by Flaming Bart Productions.
Flaming Bart?
Oh yeah, it was an Australian thing.
At least Bart has some work going for him after The Simpsons ends, but continue, whoever, Nick.
Crap, while at Toys R Us, me and Nesca found a sticker book from 2004 of the second Tobey Maguire Spider-Man movie.
Hey, my friend found that exact same thing.
What the fuck? Yeah, there's just a horde of these in the Toys R Us. There were 5 copies of these sticker books there of Tobey
it was
Maguire.
a pack of stickers, right?
Did you buy it?
Yeah. Yeah, I bought it for Nesca. She has it now.
That's crazy. Yeah, my friend was talking to me about it on Twitter. There is not a Pizza Guy sticker, and that made me very disappointed.
Oh.
My mom, whenever she sends me letters or something, she'll sometimes use stickers from over a decade ago and just decorate the envelope with it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's usually SpongeBob or Spider-Man. I have the 60 Spider-Man stickers for some reason on the envelope sometimes, but yeah, my mom likes to decorate envelopes.
Oh, also while at a Kmart last year, I found a DVD copy of R. Kelly's Trapped in the Closet. A classic.
If that's all the news we have to talk about, maybe we should...
It's not.
There was...
What else is there?
Okay, well, that's the news I care about. So if you guys want to prattle on a bit more, go for it.
So Steven Universe has a movie coming out
on Cartoon Network.
Yeah, it's a TV movie.
Supposedly, this is what was keeping the hiatuses happening. Let's see here. There's a 4chan link or something about like a bunch of stuff Cartoon Network oriented, and so far all of it is like landing. So there's been nothing that's been proven wrong. So if that's the case, that means Steven Universe is going to be going on for another like
9
4
seasons. They
There's supposed to be
said,
at least 9.
They're almost at the end of their 5th, so that means there's probably going to go into like 2020, 2021. Maybe another year. Cartoon Network is doing.
How are we going to keep this going for 4 more? Oh wait, no, I'm monkey's paw. Go away. Get out of here. Shoot.
There was also at Comic-Con they showed a full episode of the next Steven Universe episode, and then they were like, "Oh shoot, we should probably show this to everyone else." So they released it online, and it was pretty nice.
Boo.
Well, it was a weird clusterfuck because like they just said there's gonna be a new episode online, and then there was like 2 days later it finally popped up. Like people were just like, when? Because no one.
Oh yeah,
knew.
I was talking to Ostrich Fox. I actually did a discussion with him and a couple other people on the episode, just a big one, and he just got. I think someone put it in like our Discord chat when it came up, and it had been a day, and he just started screaming in the call.
Yeah, that sounds like Ostrich Fox, all right.
Oh my god, yeah, I love how enthusiastic he can get sometimes.
It's just like Etika for the cartoon community.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, no, please watch his reaction of the Steven Universe episode Reunited. He just screams for a solid hour, and I think he hurt his elbow, or he hurt his something. He hurt his something, and it was hilarious.
I wish I recorded myself watching the Hey Arnold Jungle movie, because I was like freaking the fuck out watching that.
I'm gonna record myself watching the Adventure Time finale because I'm gonna be in like shambles after that.
See, I could never. The React things are like, because do those people like they genuinely? I mean, Vox like really does act like that and stuff, but I would have a hard time because I don't necessarily would physically react to certain things even if they're a big deal on a show. But you have to really I feel like that's a weird way to watch something, almost perform a very passive experience. I don't know.
I think it kind of hurts the experience in the way that you have to act through it. So that involves you have to talk over the episode, and then you're probably gonna miss something. So what's the point?
Well, because the whole React thing didn't get popular until people started recording full episodes. And so, people weren't actually watching the reactions or trying to watch the episode. It was just it was like having an annoying sibling that would keep talking through the episode. But yeah, no, I'm with you. I've considered watching or live streaming, watching stuff, but the whole performative aspect really does kind of turn me off. I think, because I know I watch stuff stone cold. In my head, I'm laughing, smiling, and such, but if there was an actual camera on me without me knowing, I would literally be just dead-faced the entire time watching because I'm that entranced. But I think when you have a camera on you, you tend to exaggerate a little bit more because you know you're being recorded.
You can't pick your nose if you're recording, and that's half of what I do when I watch
I'm picking my nose right now.
Yeah, because people...
This is the benefit of me not showing my face in videos.
People would be maybe I should do it. Maybe I think a lot of people pick their nose. Maybe they'd relate.
No, this is a fetish for someone. Just let it go.
Is it your fetish?
They showed a trailer for the new Invader Zim.
Yeah.
Yeah. Although, let me explain something about that trailer. They talked about how a lot of that footage in the trailer for the new Zim TV movie is actually just... It's going to be footage they're going to send back because they didn't like it, pre-reshoots,
Yeah, they didn't give a date for the movie, so I believe, I think that all looked like stuff early on in the movie, like the first act. So likely, we're not going to see this until next year.
It's going to follow, well, it seems like it's going to follow the first issue of the comic and then branch off from there.
I heard the same.
I wouldn't really say backlash, but I've definitely seen people kind of why did they change the designs? And I think, is an original creator still working on them?
Yeah, because Jonin's art style has completely changed in 14 years since Zim ended.
Right, so it's not so much that they needlessly, because I've seen, that was basically the same complaint, is that it was needlessly changed, but it's just...
People said the same thing about when the designs for the Jungle movie for Hey Arnold got released, which is basically the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Zim's like they got new outfits now for Dib and Gaz.
I really, really want for them to make a reference to really expensive 3D walnuts. That's all I want out of the movie.
Yeah. Explain that.
Essentially what happened was, at least this is to my memory, I could get some shit wrong, so if anybody wants to correct me, have free reign over it, comments here, I don't care, whatever. But they were making a scene for Invader Zim, and they requested 3D walnuts, I think it was.
Yeah.
And it turns out they didn't need them, but they had already made the 3D walnuts. And the thing with 3D is that it's really expensive because there's multiple jobs people have to do. If you're animating, it's usually like cleanup artist and animator, and that's usually it. It's a couple jobs. But with 3D, you have to have somebody doing the textures. You have to have somebody doing the modeling. You have to have somebody rig it if it requires a rig to animate, and then somebody to do the lighting and rendering. So there's a lot more jobs, and these walnuts were very, very expensive because of that. And it contributed, I think, in part to Invader Zim getting canceled, among many other things. So, in conclusion, if you want to go on very broad strokes, 3D walnuts helped cancel Invader Zim.
Yeah.
I believe it.
The show is pretty... Yeah, that show was pretty expensive. Like, the CG for that show really holds up today.
It was cel-shaded, too, which is probably requires other people to help make that shit happen.
I think cell shading's easier.
Is cell shading easier?
I think so, because there's less textures to worry about.
Well, it's not a texture thing. It's like how it's rendered.
No, I mean, well, see, with cell shading, I don't know how they officially do it.
Yeah.
I know that my student film when I was in college was cell shaded because I was trying to do 2D backgrounds and 3D characters.
Yeah.
And I wound up just doing like two, because I didn't really need any actual lighting for mine, at least. I'm sure there's the legit real way of doing it. Probably requires some more finesse than what I was doing.
No, I mean, I don't know too much about cell shading either. I messed around with a 3D model, a cell shaded 3D model by the Blue Blur. I think it was a Twitter user. He makes really good stuff, but he had a Tyson Hess Sonic model, which was cell shaded. And I messed around with it, and I think it's just the way the texture is like coded, not necessarily coding, but in Maya you can like link certain elements or properties to a texture to make it appear a certain way, and that's how cell shading works. You're applying properties to it. It was just in the official term, but fuck it, I graduated already and I forgot most of the 3D shit, so fuck it. But yeah. It probably isn't too intensive to render, but you probably require somebody who has to know more about making textures. So at least that's my guess. I'm not an expert. I'm just...
Yeah, but you guys want to get into questions?
Yeah, fuck the news. Well, yeah.
Okay, well, I just want to say that questions, if anybody has a question, be sure to post your question in the YouTube comments of this YouTube video and start out with the word question so it's easier to find, or post them in the Twitch chat on Sundays. Yeah, links below. So any questions?
Yeah,
Rigby 1999 says, what Nick Jr. show do you think is right for a reboot?
They're making Blue's Clues again.
Yeah, that could be good.
That could work.
I think it's gonna be a CG.
Just make it stop. Make all the reboots stop. No more reboot questions. I'm rebooting our questions. No more reboot questions.
Abdid60 says, question, what is your favorite snack to munch on?
Flamin' Hot Puff Cheetos if I'm in a salty mood, or fancy cake, Little Debbie's fancy cake.
Anything spicy. Takis, hot Cheetos, hot fries.
I like pretzels or tortilla chips. I don't know. I like to snack on those.
Do you ever put peanut butter on your pretzels?
No, I don't like. I just kind of like having pretzels like dry on their own.
God, you're basic.
I know, but it tastes good.
Matt, what about you? What kind of snacks do you like to munch on?
I'll eat like a big old bucket of those pretzels with peanut butter already in them, or like a whole box of fucking Cheez-Its.
That's what I do. Like anytime I have a snack, I just eat it in one sitting because I have no self-control.
Hey, same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've gotten better at it since I started doing the keto diet. Which, by the way, brag, I've lost like 60 pounds.
Yeah, Izzy,
So-
you have self-control and you actually like work hard on your diet. Like I'm just a monster, a gremlin. Like one time,
You say that, but yesterday I had pizza and ice cream all day. I cheated.
wow. That's.
But my favorite snack right now is pork rinds because I can
I've
have
never
it.
had pork
It's
rinds
allowed.
before, but I keep seeing them. Are they good?
They're like crunchy.
They're alright, but like when you want to munch on something, and like I only eat 10 of them at a time because that's the calorie counting.
We call them chicharrones.
You call them churros?
What?
Chicharrones.
And
that's what pork rinds are called in Mexico.
Yeah,
Chicharron.
Mexico land. That's what they're called.
Yeah.
What about
I got a
you,
question.
Jim?
Oh,
I'm sure
sorry.
you like something from like the 1800s, like polio cakes or something.
No, I just have like pretty basic stuff like tortilla chips or nuts or these nuts. No, or yeah, nothing too fancy.
Wow.
I usually have like more adventurous meals than I have snacks. What?
These nuts, says Jim from fucking 1974.
Classic.
I don't have good nut stories.
Jim, if I recall correctly, measles munchies were a big thing back in your day, were they not?
No, I more like salted tack that was infected with syphilis was kind of the bigger thing in my day.
All right, yeah, that's pretty interesting. Now that like you guys would eat syphilis, that's weird.
Yeah, well, it makes you more immune to it. People don't remember
Yeah,
that.
and then like you guys would dump your buckets of like waste down into the streets, like.
Yeah, that's usually what you know.
Yeah, you guys lived a weird lifestyle back in the 1800s.
Yeah, well, we didn't really know a lot of stuff. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, we're in the age of information now, so now we know that Donald Trump is not a Nazi. Speaking of information, do we have any more questions so we can expunge our information all over their faces?
I got one. It's from I got one from my friend Cosmodor. He asked question.
That's a conflict of interest.
What?
What?
It's a conflict of interest. You're asking your friend's question instead of letting
No,
the
fuck
lovely
you. Nick
people
can do what he
watching us
wants.
ask their
All right. He
question.
asked which Sonic game has the best soundtrack.
Definitely not Adventure 2.
Aww.
No.
It does.
I would do one of the first two.
No, it's Sonic Adventure.
Generations
Not
has the best soundtrack because it takes it's the best one from
It's a
every
best of
series and then
sound-
remixes them and makes them better. So, and also mixes up Green Hill Zone enough so that they don't have to pay Dreams Come True any licensing fees.
See, I like when Sonic was more R&B. I don't like when he got all punk.
Sonic Mania has a great soundtrack.
Sonic Mania soundtrack is okay.
T-Lopes is a god.
Me and Nick are gonna fight each other on the side of the street at New York one day.
Yeah, I'm going to
Mark,
book the empty alley in the street outside of Comic-Con, and we're gonna.
And then we get mugged because it's New York.
Anyway, who has the best soundtrack?
I guess Adventure. I wanna fly high,
So I can reach the highest of the heavens.
That's like anime music.
Izzy, we had a little bonding moment while we were playing Sonic Adventure. Discovered the lyrics to Amy Rose's
Oh god. Okay, so Amy's song. I remember listening to it as a kid, and like it was really weird. It's something about shaving something, and it's
Freaking
always
cats,
stuck with
right?
me. And I went and checked, and the lyric literally is that Sphinx was so cute, I had to shave it. Like it's really creepy.
Yeah, I don't know if that's like a sexual innuendo or something, but for all intents and purposes, like Amy had to shave a Sphinx. Sphinx confirmed.
I like how in Sonic Adventure 2, all the music for Rouge the Bat is literally just sex music.
Sex jazz.
I mean, it's good sex jazz, but
well, of course you would find it good sex jazz because it is Rouge the Bat, your favorite Sonic character, right?
Which one would you
thanks,
bone? Which
Nolan.
Sonic character would you
No.
bone?
Big the Cat, probably.
Yeah,
I guess Rude.
No,
Big the
the
Cat.
Commander from Shadow the Hedgehog. It's a classic character.
Why would you want to bone the Commander?
I don't know, man. There's a line where he's like, did you know there's a line in like Shadow a secret mission where he's like, Shadow, I was thinking about having you over for dinner one night.
Yeah, when you beat the game and you unlock hard mode, it like has like post cutscene, has post game like dialogue, and the commander's like, sorry for like trying to kill you and shit, and like getting really pissed off at you and blaming you for the death of someone you really cared about. Do you want to like have like tacos or something? That's canon. That's something that happened in the Sonic franchise.
Yeah, I'd bone Rogue.
I hate this
Rouge.
fucking franchise.
Whatever her name is.
Matt, before we finish, Matt, what's your
honestly,
favorite
it's
Sonic
probably
soundtrack?
between Sonic 3 and Sonic Mania. I think those two. Yeah, I always say Sonic Adventure 2 though, just because City Escape is the best song ever written.
Y'all are tragic.
Still waiting for City Escape to become the new national anthem.
That's the theme of the 2000s.
Maybe someday.
Yeah.
One thing I will give Sonic Adventure 2 credit for, it has the best opening level
Mhm.
because it syncs up the beginning guitar twangs sync up with
Yeah.
Sonic hitting the pavement and then just goes da 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 da. da. Shut the fuck up. This is your podcast.
No, Robo's right. It does have a good bass line.
Shut the fuck up. I'll take this bass line and slap you with
I
it.
know Studiopolis Act 2 and Sonic Mania does the same thing where the intro to the level syncs up with the animation on the Eggman TV, which is pretty neat.
Also, fun little fact about Studiopolis Act 2, when you defeat the boss, it plays the droning buzz from the Sonic 25th anniversary stream.
Oh yeah, I remember watching that live. It was hell.
It was a train wreck.
Oh, yeah.
I honestly, I was with my friend Elvis and we were just he wasn't a big Sonic fan at the time, and I sort of Stockholm syndromed him into it, but we were watching and we were just gawking at this spectacle of disaster. Crow Seabat did a video called Sonic's Ruin 25th Anniversary. I highly recommend you watch it because it's just a highlight reel of how fucking terrible this stream was. They literally take breaks to advertise Totino's nacho rolls.
Sweet.
Oh yeah, that was hilarious.
I tried some, by the way, because I felt obliged to, because I just felt so bad. I was yeah, they deserve to have me buy some Totino's nacho rolls. They were
Ew.
disgusting. Fuck you, Sonic. Don't buy Totino's nacho rolls. They're it's like store-bought queso.
Store-bought
but
queso.
Gross.
I did the same thing with a friend as a joke.
Yeah. But that's my favorite snack to munch on. Going back to that question.
Ooh, how about thoughts on Smash Ultimate?
Yeah, it's coming out.
I'm very wet.
It's coming 2 days after my birthday, which is kind of sad. Pre-order it myself with my own money, Nolan. I mean, I'll get money for my birthday or whatever.
That is not your money. It's the money people gave you.
I mean, isn't that all money? Generally, if you get paid for a job, it's money someone else
You
gave you.
didn't work for it. You just came out of your mom's vagina for
Hey,
it.
that's hard work, man.
Yeah, hard work for your mom. You didn't do shit. You were a baby. You were just oh my god, existence. What a nightmare. Put me back in. Ah.
So, Honey Srirachi says, question, what's your favorite Comic-Con trailer? I like Shazam.
I was surprised at how good Shazam was.
Yeah, I can't wait for it to actually suck or be really disappointing when the movie comes out.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel like a DC or Marvel superhero movie though. It kind of just feels like it feels like a movie where it's just oh, this kid turns into some superhero.
Yeah, I like
Well, it's
that about it.
like Mike or something. It's one of those
It's Big from Tom Hanks.
I think it'll actually be kind of a hit like Jumanji was, where no one expects it to be that big, but it appeals pretty broadly to people, and I think people actually want that kind of stuff right now.
Aquaman is going to feel like just a superhero movie. I bet.
I mean, I think that the thing about the superhero movies is you have to have another genre or another thing you're doing other than just a superhero movie, unless you're an Avengers team up thing, or it just doesn't work very well. How Ant-Man, the first one was a heist movie, how Captain America Winter Soldier is a political thriller, the Guardians of the Galaxy is a space opera kind of thing. So if you do that, it works a lot better. But if you just make a superhero movie, you get Man of Steel or something. Well, that had other problems, but I think Aquaman, I was surprised how underwhelming. I thought they might be able to, not that I thought it'd be great, but I thought they'd at least get a decent trailer. But I was watching it this is really bland. There's nothing, that was such a flop of a trailer. I think they really thought that was going to be the big one. Whereas Shazam, I'm really excited for Shazam. And it's I think people want kind of more family, a movie you could watch with your family, family-friendly kind of movies, the Jumanji movie was. I think that's why.
That's why we need Oaxis.
Yeah, people like Butch Hartman want that.
I think the difference between what Oaxis does and what Jumanji did and what Shazam's doing is that they're doing something where you'll see it and you'll be like, yeah, you know, I saw Shazam with my kids, whatever, but I had a good time. And that's sort of like what these movies are trying to do. They're not like being like so overly hokey or family centric or something. They're kind of like light and fun and airy. And I think like honestly, like between like most of the stuff people consume now is pretty heavy in terms of like, you know, Infinity War and all this continuity and all this crap. And if you can just watch something and have a good time with your family and leave, that's like a perfect movie night. People are going to be down for that.
But like my problem with like Aquaman and I guess the first Thor movie, it's like you just see these CGI cities and there's just a disconnect when I see like humans on top of a CG city.
It's like we've had the prequels all these years and just finally figured that out.
Well, I think the reason it worked if Wakanda over the other ones is that Wakanda, you're like, oh wow, that's actually hidden and there's like this history behind it and there's a reason it's hidden. And all these other ones are like, look, it's underwater because I don't know, we are. Who cares?
Well,
it's
but no, I understand what like you're wanting to be more like as an audience, you go, oh, Wakanda has this rich history. There's this whole setup, and then when you see it, it is like, and it's like this whole different futuristic thing. It was a different kind of idea behind it, but when you look at like the thing with Aquaman, like an underwater city, I saw that in Phantom Menace. Like, I don't really, it's not going to shock me now. Like, come on.
Well, the problem is that Aquaman is a legacy character where he comes from a time when the underwater city of Atlantis was a possible thing. Like, obviously now we're
I understand the
logic,
the whole thing with Atlantis, but it's just like if you're a modern audience, it's like the same thing with like John Carter might have come first before Star Wars and all that stuff, but you're gonna be bored by it, you know, as a modern audience. So it's like they didn't look at Aquaman and go, how do we get this to 2018? They're relying too much on the fact that it's a legacy character and they're not, you know, figuring out a way to recontextualize it, which is like what makes Marvel cool. It's like Black Panther is from 1968, but that movie is very 2018, and that's what you need to do. And I think as of right now, I think Aquaman kind of failed to do it.
Yeah, that's what I was getting at too. Jim stole me.
I made a really stupid tweet about Aquaman last week once I saw the trailer. Someone was like, oh yeah, the city looks really neat. And then I saw it and I was like, this looks like the city from Shark Tale.
Like the opening shot at the aquarium, I was thinking like, this looks like Shark Boy. Like this looks like the CG sharks from Shark Boy.
I want Jason Momoa to sing Dream, 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 Dream.
No.
I want a Shark Boy and Lava Girl reboot. That is something I want to see reboot.
Oh, so many people were doing that after. I call it Shark Boy and Redhead League.
Why?
Just because she's red hair. It wasn't a great joke. I didn't think anyone would stop talking about it. I thought, okay.
Yeah.
Sounds like Grandpa Jim didn't think his joke through.
I mean, like, I like how in the Aquaman trailer he keeps saying like, "Whoa, yeah, awesome."
No, he didn't. He didn't do the Justice League like or he's like, "Yeah," like he didn't do that much, did he?
He did like, I don't know, like 3 times.
He should have done it 50 times. The whole trailer should have been like a long, like the whole trailer starts just him going, yeah, and that'd be the whole trailer. It'd be awesome.
That could be like the bass line to the soundtrack.
Yeah, it'd be like, you know, I guess, you know, the Godzilla trailer looked cool. Like, sorry,
I want Jason Momoa to make a fish face or like fishy noises, but they play it completely straight. It's not going to happen, but I want it. Please, DC, please.
I just really want the end credit for Aquaman just be I can speak whale.
Oh, like from Finding Nemo?
Yeah.
And he goes like,
that was actually what the fuck?
Whoopee. I'm speaking squid. I gotta learn to speak squid to talk to my squid kid. Whoopee.
You mean Wednesday?
No, that's a different kid.
Yeah, that's a good noise.
You sure get around a lot, don't you, Pan? Are there any other kids we should know about?
Shh. We're having a big custody battle.
And I'm pretty sure Nesca's going to win the court battle.
By the way, Shirilism sent me a PM on Discord saying that she plans on pulling out all of the guns on you and like suing the shit out of you.
What did I do?
Sticking those lawyers on you, guns blazing for Wednesday.
It's her fault.
Oh my god, you always blame everybody else for your problems. And
I
for all the
didn't do
children of yours that
anything. It was
die.
fucking cheerleaders who lost our son. Our daughter. Fuck.
Wow, you don't even remember your own dead child's gender. How dare you?
Whoops.
You're such a terrible father. You disgusting.
It's her fucking fault.
What are we talking about?
Basically, apparently we're LARPing right now, in which Pan Pizza can be a father.
Cool.
Okay. How are you doing, Izzy?
Oh, I'm doing great. How about you, Jim?
Oh, I'm doing all right. You know.
Hold on. If we're continuing to LARP, like, hey Matt, I love you.
That's a good explanation.
Yeah. Anyway, final question. Has anybody got the final question for us?
I just want to say that all Wednesdays will be now known as Woomy Wednesdays.
Please, it's somebody ask a question. Good God.
This annoying person keeps asking, where's the update on the uncensored version of Dexter's Rude removal that you mentioned a year ago, Pan?
Who cares?
There you go.
It wasn't funny. Who cares?
You got your answer.
I think we've all learned that if Pan says he's going to make a video, it doesn't happen.
Yeah, that's the joke. That's the joke, kids.
Remember Video Now?
When they announced that Powerpuff Girls is canceled, he'll finally make that follow-up video. Just kidding.
Man, who cares about that show?
Just make part 3. Like, just skip part 2.
Yeah, is that the end of the podcast?
I suppose.
I think so.
I hope so too. I want to die.
Whoopee.
So I'm Nolan. I unofficially run the podcast. Who claims to run it?
Oh, I'm Pan Pizza. Whoopee.
What's that?
He's into Splatoon 2 now. He plays that game.
I was on the Pizza Party podcast.
Who's our resident gal pal?
Oh God, please don't use that term. But it's me, Izzy.
Oh, our resident sassy bitch.
There we go.
Queen.
Dang.
Queen of the bitches. And then our grandpa, who was in his wheelchair and debilitated, rotting in the sun, watching Cheers and MASH.
Well,
hoping for that final episode to come out.
Well, I've never watched either of the. Well, hey, I was Jim. Check out my TV show. It's on this Friday, first and third Friday of every month.
First and third Friday of every month, Jim has a show on TV. Go follow his social media for updates. It's in the description.
Nope. There's a live stream. It's called Movie Stuff. Check it out.
Oh, for playing stuff. I don't know if it's an online podcast or not, but this week I'm going to be on Hot Tub Sex Machine, a Not Safe for Work chat show. I'm going to be talking about an adventure I've had with a partner. Also, there's going to be they're going to have a furry talk about what it means to be a furry in a sexual context or not sexual context. That's gonna be interesting.
I would watch that if I didn't already know.
Yeah.
And then if we're also going to continue plugging, I'm doing a Sonic movie podcast with one of our co-podcasters here. The first episode was uploaded yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday. Yeah, she's in the background.
Hello. Robot Buddies right now is just one of the Force ghosts from Star Wars.
Yeah, we're gonna re-update it so she's replaced with Scarlett Johansson.
Uploaded on my channel. It's the Sonic Movie Podcast. It's also got people who have been on this podcast before. Salty DK Dan and Robo Buddies, who is here.
It's coming out when we have more substantial info to go off of. But is there anything else you want to plug, Nick, before upcoming videos? Since the Spider-Man one's already out.
Yeah. Last time I plugged my Spider-Man video, but now I got some other stuff. I got a video on Sonic Mania Adventures coming out, and that's a collab with someone else, and that's going to be fun. And the big one I'm working on is a Adventure Time retrospective.
Mm-hmm. And then our other guest, Matt, aka TheTacoBus. Anything coming out that you want to talk about that you're doing?
I'm always doing my comic Bummer Corp, which updates sporadically. I'm doing a Kickstarter for a book of it that will launch in 2 weeks. So be cool if you check that out.
All right. We'll keep posted. Follow him on his Twitter, which will be in the description below. Thank you, everybody, for watching. I wish we talked about cartoons more. Just kidding.
Thanks for watching Screw Attack. This was hard news.
Yeah, this was hard news. I'm Jared. I'm going to be cosplaying as a Sailor Moon character again later. And we'll see you all next time. Bye. Woomy.